What is going on, you people? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe in these crazy times. I wanted to do another video today. I entitled it something a little bit different, and basically it was why I think helicopter school is cheap. I don't know that I fully believe that it's cheap. I definitely don't think that. But I do want to make a comparison to other careers that you could do and how I think it actually is really quite cost effective. One of the biggest things I get asked all the time is, why is helicopter flying so expensive? Why is, how can I possibly afford going to helicopter school? It's so much money and stuff like that. And yes, it's a lot of money. I definitely agree with that. There's no arguing that, but I don't think it's as expensive as most people are making out to be. So today I just wanted to go through what are the actual costs of going to our helicopter school to get a commercial license, something that's going to make you employable in the helicopter industry. I'm going to break down each of the different things, and at the end I'm going to compare that to the cost of going to just a generic school for a 4-year degree, and I'm going to give you the lowest end of that sort of spectrum, and then that scales up a lot from there. So let's jump into it. And so the first thing that we're going to be looking at is I'm going to break down the ground school cost first, and then kind of go through each step and explain what the costs are. So first of all, ground school is at our school $1,320. What that gives you basically is an online ground school application. You can do the ground school at your own pace, which is awesome. And then we also give you underwater egress training and outdoor survival training in that ground school cost. So you're actually getting massive, massive value for that amount. I think a lot of schools are charging more than that. That's pretty cool. Then your exams and fees. So this is just all the extras. There's kind of a bunch of little sub categories that you're paying for there. But basically it's your flight test fee, your written exam fee, your books and materials and things that you're getting and stuff like that. That works out to $1,627, okay? So that basically would be all your random miscellaneous type stuff. Then we get into the cost of your actual flight training. In this course that I'm going to be talking about, it's a 100-hour commercial course. In this course, I'm going to be talking about 90 hours in the Cabri G2 and 10 hours in the Robinson R44. I think that's a great course that makes you very employable. The 90 hours, the Cabri is $575 an hour, so 90 hours of that is $51,750. And then 10 hours in the R44 at $800 an hour is $8,000, okay? Total it all up, and that gives you $62,697. That's for flight school, okay? Now, that makes you employable in the helicopter industry. You could go, you could leave here with that, and you could become a commercial pilot. Typically, you're going to spend anywhere from 3 to 5 years working your way up to a point where you're, flying on a full-time basis, maybe 600-700 hours a year or more, and making a good, solid wage as a helicopter pilot. The first 1 to 2 years is spent as ground crew, typically making pretty low wages, $30,000-$35,000 a year. And then you start working your way up as you're getting more experience and getting more flying, of course. Okay, now let's talk about the length of the course. It's 4 months for your commercial license. And so I broke down some of the living costs that you would have during those 4 months. Rent, about $750 an hour. So for the 4 months, you're looking at $3,000. Food, I figured about $150 an hour, or $150 a month is pretty safe, I would say. So you're looking at $600 for food. Transportation and entertainment, I put both of those in at $125 a month. I think that's pretty safe to say on those, and so you're looking at $500 for each of those, so an extra $1,000 there. Total those up, you're looking at $4,600 for extra living expenses. So if you're coming from out of country, you wanted to live in our student housing, rent our truck for the 4 months while you're here, put some gas in it, feed yourself, maybe go to the odd show or go skiing or something like that on the weekends and stuff like that. You're looking at about $4,600 to exist while you're here for those 4 months. Total those both up, and you're looking at $67,297. That should be the money, the dollar figure that you walk out of here with after 4 months. there shouldn't be any need to spend any more. Now, obviously, it's going to go up and down a little bit based on your guys' specific needs. If you need to live in a big house because you're coming over with a big family or something, or you're going to, buy a car to come out here, there's always going to be some variables to that. Or if you spend massive amounts of money every night on going out to fancy dinners or something, of course, those numbers are going to be skewed a little bit. But I'm trying to use some very practical numbers that our students are sort of using to get through this course, okay? Around $67,000. I know, guys, it's a lot of money. It's crazy, but let's compare that for a quick second to a 4-year degree at a very base. So I use a college that's here in Abbotsford. It's a very base college. It's not prestigious by any means. It's not even a university, and yeah, I guess it's a university, but it's a college university, and so very basic numbers, and then using the same numbers of living cost. Okay, here's how it works out. So housing for the 4 years while you're going to school is going to be 36 grand. Food, $7,200. It's a lot of money. Transportation and entertainment, $5,000 and $6,000 on those. It's a lot of money that you're going to be spending on that stuff. Okay, and then your schooling, you're looking at about $7,500 per year for just a basic degree. So if you're going to go to nursing or whatever it's going to be, you're not becoming a doctor or anything like that. Just a real basic degree. You're looking at about $7,500 per year, so $30,000 there, okay? Total those all up, and you're at around $84,000, $84,200. That's like $13,000 more than going to helicopter school, okay? That's a lot of money, and that's a very basic degree. And then let's talk about employment after that. So what kind of shoes are you in when you're in both of those situations? A lot of people say, oh, it's really hard to get a job as a helicopter pilot. Well, to be fair, it's hard to get a job in most things nowadays. There's certain degrees that you can take, and that industry is extremely busy, and so you can get a job easy in it. But that's pretty few and far between. Most degrees that you're going to get, you're going to have to work pretty darn hard to beat out the competition to get that job. So I think it's pretty an equal playing field, depending on what you're getting, whether it's a helicopter license or just another degree, a 4-year degree at a college or university. Okay, now the money that you're spending while you're at a 4-year degree, you're actually making money when you're in helicopter school, because there's 3 years and 8 months of time that you've now spent actually working in the industry as a helicopter pilot, working your way up and actually building experience. So by the time your buddy that went to a 4-year college degree is now out of school and looking for their base level, entry level job where they're down in the very beginning, that person is now comparing to you, who's already been in the industry for nearly 4 years and working your way up to the point where you're actually a very employable pilot and quite desirable in the helicopter industry, making a pretty solid and pretty good wage. You've already had, let's call it 3 years to start paying back some of that loan money and so forth. Even though you're not making a ton in the beginning, you can chunk away, even $1,000 a month or something. If you're living, conservatively, maybe $500 a month, you can actually make a dent in the loan that you've taken out, or whatever amount of money that you were able to get together to pay this back. Okay, so if you're comparing apples to apples, which I'm trying to do as closely as possible, I think that you can agree that there's a lot of benefits to something like this. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go to helicopter school. Definitely not. That's not what I'm after. But what I am saying is, for those of you that are out there thinking to yourself, man, helicopter school is so expensive, I don't know how I could ever afford it, or you're seeing some of my videos and thinking, oh, that's wonderful, I'd love to be a helicopter pilot, but there's no way on earth I can afford that, man. Misha, you're kidding me. Yeah, take a look at it, okay? Now, something that's not comparing apples to apples is the standard lending system. So if you're looking at government student loans, they are designed for a 4-year degree or an 8-year degree or whatever. They're looking at lending to people over a long period of time. Therefore, per semester or per year or whatever, they're going to give you a fairly substantial amount of money, because that's the way the system is designed. So in a 4-year degree, you might be able to get a large portion or all of this paid for by student loans. That's not exactly the case in helicopters, okay? Depending on which province you live here in Canada, some provinces are better than others. I know BC is probably one of the worst. It's like $5,000 to $5,500 for the entire course because it's only 4 months long. The government looks at it and they say, oh, okay, yeah, we'll lend you a student loan based on 4 months of school. Here's $5,000, right? That's not going to cover a lot. It's going to cover some of the real basics. That's about it. There are some provinces, I know Alberta is incredible. Alberta gives, I've actually had students here that have gotten the entire schooling paid for by student loans. So that's pretty awesome. So you're going to have to generally go a different route on your funding. I'm going to do another video about how to pay for helicopter school in the future, but for now, we're just talking about the basic cost comparison of that, all right? I hope this makes sense for you guys. If you guys are asking yourself a question like, is this a possibility for me? Take a look at the comparison I think that I've shown today, and then ask yourself in relation to something like that. If you're going to go to school doing something else, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it if it's a 4-year degree, and then at the end of it, you got to ask yourself, okay, well, am I on the same playing field as I would be if I went to helicopter school? You know, it's not that expensive, you guys. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. By the way, how many, put up your hands, how many of you guys have been getting haircuts by your significant other or somebody around you before this whole world lockdown thing? I just got a haircut, and it's been nice because my wife has been doing my hair for actually since before we started dating. So probably 15 years ago or something like that, she started cutting my hair. So I'm very lucky. But yeah, that would be interesting. Just let me know in the comments below. I've just been seeing different posts from people on Instagram or YouTube or whatever that you know, for the first time their wife is cutting their hair or something, and a lot of men are cutting their wives' hairs because they just can't go out and get haircuts. So that's kind of funny and interesting. But anyways, that was a random side note. I'm not sure why I thought about that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please do me a favor. If you guys want to support me, which I absolutely love it if you do, there's a couple of really simple things you can do. Give this video a like. That's the simplest thing you can do. Just that little thumbs up button right down below here. Hit it. It's super easy. Done. Perfect. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I would heavily encourage you guys to do that. If you guys want to get notified about future videos, hit that bell as well, and then you'll be notified of future videos that are coming. And just leave some comments, guys. I want to hear about your guys' experience. If you have gone to helicopter school and you actually, an interesting one. I would like to know from you guys that have gone to a college or university degree 4 years. I'm trying to do a basic comparison with a 4-year degree. How much money did you spend on that? You know, I think the numbers are going to be much higher than I said for a lot of you, but let me know. I'm talking in Canadian dollars, so a lot of you guys will be watching from the US or Europe or all over the world. So let me know in your own currency. So when you put the number there, just say, hey, for my 4-year degree at whatever, I paid about this much, and put in your currency as well. I'd love to read those comments. I'll reply to as many as I can. I think that would be really fun. Anyways, guys, until next time, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.